Oh, good afternoon, Acer.
Hello po, sir.
Hi. Okay.
Good afternoon po.
Sige. Let's continue, no? So, can you remind me of the items? What items will we discuss today?
Pa,
Ano yung items na sasagutin natin? What 300s
um,
I think we solved some, no?
hmm,
Last time.
opo, ang tanda ko po, meron po tayong 357 tapos 359 hanggang, hindi ko na po alam kung hanggang ano po, hanggang anong number po.
So, where could we start? Sige, ano na lang, you suggest to me items for us to solve. Yung 361 na-solve na natin. O yung alam ko yung 359 na-solve natin. Tama. 359. Increase by 30% yung side.
Ay, hindi pa po natin nasasagutan po yung
359, di pa.
360 po.
So, we could
Opo,
start by 359. I think 357 also, no? Yung ba yung naiwan natin?
Opo.
Ayan.
357 din po, hindi pa po nasasagutan.
Sige. Okay. Sige. Let's open in a word of prayer. Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. Thank you for this time that we could continue on discussing topics in solid geometry. I pray, Lord, that you will continually give us wisdom, insight as we apply some basic formulas of solids to actual problems as well as board board-related questions. May continually guide Hazel as she continue on her study and continually guide us, Lord, that we may see the Lord Jesus Christ even in this discussion. That we will. Is our prayer in Christ. Okay, bumalik ako sa word ko eh. Para hindi uubra yung yung scientific workplace. Medyo ano siya. Anyway, so let's answer 357. I need to asa na nga ba yun? You could access the photo files, right? Or do I need to post it here? Can you
Okay
access?
naman po.
Okay, okay naman.
Ano naman po siya.
Nasa
Opo.
desktop, no? You could easily open it. Para kasi pag na-observe ko, pag
Opo.
sinasama ko siya sa window capture, doon bumabagsak si OBS. Di ba remember, naalala mo yung mga previous natin? Tapos nagsama ako nito, parang, di ba, hati,
Opo.
biglang nadali itong si OBS.
Opo.
Anyway, sige. Okay, so 357, no? This is our first. Ayusin ko lang yung file ko dito. Daming chatter. Sino kaya ito? Ito yung si Mrs. Ba't sila nandito? Okay. Okay, I'll be reading, no? So what is the area in square meters of a zone of a spherical segment having a volume of 1,470.265 cubic meters if the diameter of the sphere is 30 meters.
Meter.
So,
Um,
how did
so,
you solve this? You have idea?
ano po, kinuha ko po muna yung yung spherical segment po niya, yung height po ba niya.
Oh, yung height, yes. The height needs to be solved.
And then, po, kasi given naman po yung volume na 1,470 cubic meter.
Mm,
And then yun po, natira po yung height po.
okay.
Kaya yun po yung kinuha po.
Oh,
And
what's the
then,
height?
inano po yung 6 po.
Okay, 6
And then,
meters. Correct.
Opo. Sinubstitute ko po siya dun sa para makuha po yung diameter po ng sphere. Yung formula na po na A is equal to 2 pi r, yung r po tsaka yung h yung height.
Oh,
So yun
yes.
po, sinubstitute ko po yung sa radius yung 15, ay yung 15.
Yes.
Kasi po, 15 po kasi yung sa 30 po na meter.
Mm,
Po siya, ta's yung 6 po na height. So,
okay.
yung nakuha ko po ay 565 point meters, po,
Square meters.
yung
Actually, yeah,
B
yeah.
po.
That's correct. That's correct.
Opo.
Okay. So this is the initial formula. Then we substitute the radius of 15 meters. Then since we know the volume of 1,470.265, we could solve for the h. So for this case, the h
Opo.
will be equal to 6 meters. And then you further substitute that to the area. Okay, the area of the zone, which is 2 pi rh, similar to the volume of a right circular cylinder. Parang gano'n, no? Meron siyang gano'ng
Opo.
resemblance, eh. Pero ito 2 pi RH lang, hindi siya 2 pi r squared h. Volume yun ng right circular cylinder. Ito, that's the area of the spherical zone. Okay? So, we substitute lang. Okay, so this is 2 pi RH. Okay. So, just writing the formula no, without substituting. So, the answer here is 565 meters, square meters. Okay? Sige, you tell me what you have solved. Sige, or you want to discuss some items that are difficult, perhaps?
Ano, ano ba? 360 61 po. 360 po hanggang ano,
360,
362 po. Hindi ko po siya
362.
opo.
Sige,
Yan po, si 360 hanggang 362 po.
add those three items, 360, 361, and 362.
Opo.
Okay, sige, sige. Let's look at that, on that. Talagang maano talaga yung viewer. Yung viewer ko mabigat, kaya bumabagsak si OBS. Yung photo viewer.
Mhm.
Naalala ko to dun eh.
Opo.
Kaya nagkanda ulit tayo. Okay, I'll be reading nawawala siya. Okay, 261 or 60 muna, no? Each side of the cube is
Opo,
increased
60 po.
by 1%. By what percent is the volume of the cube increased? So we need to develop a formula here, a relation. A relation. Ito, kailangan medyo maano yung sa relational formula natin. We know for the fact that the volume for the cube is, say, gawin nating x ang side. So, x cube. Nasaan na ba yung item
Kasi
niya?
po, ang ginawa ko po,
Mhm.
0.01 cube po. And iba po siya lumalabas parang 0.0004 po. Yun po yung x lang.
Mm.
Then, para po kuhain yung ano, yung volume po ng cube, parang nangyayari po, yung volume po niya is negative, 1 times 10 negative 6 po. And wala naman po siya sa family, nung ni-cube ko po yung volume.
Sige. Nagigets ko yan. Aglit lang, Hazel, I need to answer this.
Sige po.
Can you hear me, Hazel? I, am I in? My
Yes
audio
po.
is in?
Opo.
Okay, okay. Good. So we could see here the relation, no? Uh, Now, volume now varies directly to, or the side, unahin ko yung x. X, which is the side, varies directly to b. So what do you mean by that? When you increase the side, it will also have a corresponding increase on the volume. Okay? So
Okay.
make sense on that? So kada increase ng ano,
Opo.
it is a direct proportion or varies directly. Direct proportional or varies directly to volume. So therefore, we could assign a particular constant, though this is not important, that would get the ratio uh, of two sides. No, kasi we're comparing sides here. The ratio of which of the same constant, because it varies directly to the volume. This is the same as the effect on the volume 2 over volume 1. So kasi
Mm.
nagbabari siya, eh, 'no? So nagbabari siya. Ah, Actually hindi siya direct proportion, 'no. Kung i-a-apply ko yung formula, hindi pala, sorry. Mali ako, mali. Since this directly varies, puwede na nating i-apply yung formula. Eto magku-cube 'to, 'yan. Kasi x sub 2 is direct proportional to b sub 2, and the relation is x cube. So we could apply that to the numerator, right? X2 cube is equal to B2. Same as true with the original side, which is x sub 1 cube is equal to B1. Make sense?
Opo.
Make sense? Yan. So, nung prinoportion natin siya, so ganun pa rin yung arrangement, varies directly. Now, what would be the situation here? Now, it says here that there is an increase of 1% on each of the side of the cube. So, meaning the x would be increased to 1%. So, we designate that as x sub 2. X sub 2 now would be equal to 1.01, because you have a 1% increase, and we know that 1% is zero point zero 0.01. Am I right? 0.01. So to reflect
Opo.
the increase to x sub 1, which is the original side, so it will be written as 1.01 x sub 1.
Okay po.
Okay? Make sense?
Okay po. Hmm.
So kasi yung x sub 2, this is the increased, ito na yung pinahabang side based on the original side, which is 1%. So yung haba niya nag-increase ng 1% based on the length of the original side, which is x sub 1. Now the second thing to do is to substitute this original value to the relation that was derived based on the direct proportionality of the volume and the side. So it follows that this would become 0.01 x sub 1 over x sub 1, which is now equal to the increase in the volume. We will now see the relation of the second volume, which has the corresponding increase on the side 1%, and the original volume b sub 1. So makikita rin natin yung relation niya based on the relation of the side. Of course, we could see some cancellation here, but I forgot the cube. That's very important. Okay? Okay pa ba?
Opo.
Okay, so this would become now 1.01 cancel si x sub 1
Yep.
raised to 3 or cube, that would be now the new relation of b sub 2 and b sub 1. And can you solve for 1.01 cube? It's a little bit longer.
Ano po? 1.03001 po.
Yan. So, 1.30301. Tama ba?
Opo.
So, this is now the new relationship of B2 and B1. Of course, we could solve for B2 by transposing B1 to the other side of the equation. So, meaning, it follows the effect of 1% increase on the side would mean an increase of this so much percentage in terms of B sub 1. So, kung kukunin mo yung percentage, ilan yung percent increase? Hazel, ilang
Hmm.
ninang increase? Katulad ng ginawa mo dito, yung 1% naging 0.01 at siya ay rineflect doon sa x sub 1. Dito naman, baliktad ang kukunin natin. Extract natin yung sobra. Ano ba yung sobra doon sa b sub 1? Which is 0.0, tama? 0.00301. So, this is
Hmm.
approximately equal to
Opo.
3.03%. Okay? So, meaning there's an
Hmm.
increase of 3.03% of the original from the original volume. Okay?
Okay.
Okay? So, ano ba yung sagot dyan? So, the answer is letter C. So, letter
Letters.
C. So,
Sir,
C.
paano nga po siya nag-i-increase po?
Okay, inobserbahan natin dito to eh. That as the volume, as the side increase, it reflects an increase on the volume as well. Doon natin kinuha yung relation. Kaya kung ganun ang
Hmm.
relation, pwede natin siyang i-divide both sides. Kaya parang nangyari dito, ito yung
Okay.
set ng for the first, ito yung pinaka-base value and then may panibago kang base value for number 2. So, ay, teka dapat eh, dito na lang. So, parang yung sinasabi mo, volume 1 is equal to x sub 1 quantity cube and then yung volume 2 ganun din, x sub 2 quantity cube. Then we could divide equations. So, this is division property of equality. One equation is, if there are one equation, it could be divided on both left and right side of the equation correspondingly. So therefore, if you divide b sub 2 by b sub 1, it is equal to the division of the other side of the equation. In this case, x sub 2 cube over x sub 1 cube. So doon natin kinuha yon.
Okay po.
And then we have the relation. Yun lang, di ko na record Sayang yun Teka, pambihira. Di ko na record. Teka lang, dali lang. Minsan na-excite ako magturo. Yun ang, saka sa devotion, minsan. Sorry.
Opo.
Ayan, pag nagde-devotion, minsan, pag medyo yung topic ay maganda, hindi ko nakiklik yung
Nalilimutan.
record button. Bale, anyway, habol na lang siguro to. May gawin akong magic dito. Okay, so yan, no? Acel. And then, saka natin nakuha to na formulate to. Then also, yun nga, yung relation ng original side doon sa increased side, which is 1%, that would reflect 3.03 increase on the volume. Okay, which is letter C. Okay, next is 361, I think.
Three.
Okay,
Ah,
361.
parang halos same
Parang may
lang
pareho
din
siyang
po ng
principle.
question.
Oh, can you solve it? You want to solve?
Sige po.
You try Sige. Meron siyang pareho. Actually, correct observation. There's halos may pareho siyang concept kasi direct proportion din 'to, eh. Yung diameter doon sa surface area is definitely a direct proportion.
Nag-increase din po kasi siya eh.
Oo, yes. Sige, you could,
Diameter.
so direct proportion is the surface area or simply the area with respect to the diameter. Obviously, as you increase the diameter, it will also increase the surface area. Yan, yan. Recall your formula for surface area of a sphere. Of course, the surface area is equal to 4 pi r squared. It is in r squared, no? But you could always derive in terms of diameter, where of course diameter is or the small d na lang is equal to 2r. We could always substitute that, or yeah, or better yet, r is equal to d over 2. Okay?
Ano po, sir?
R is equal to d over 2. So pwede nating i-derive yung surface area in terms of diameter. So 4 times pi times quantity d over 2 squared. Yan, sinubstitute natin yung r in terms of d over 2. For surface area now would be 4 times pi times d squared over 4. Yun, may cancellation, right?
4
So
pi,
magiging pi d na lang 'to,
I think.
pi d squared. Ayan, kitang-kita. Yung pi constant, 'di ba? So talagang ang variation is on the square. Samantalang yung sa volume, of course, is on the cube of the side. While, while here on the surface area, it's on the square of the diameter as seen on this. Ayan. So masasabi natin yun, magkakaroon na tayo ng conclusion that your
Okay po.
SA varies directly to your diameter or vice versa. Then makakapag-formulate ka na ng assumptions like this one. Yung yan. Ito yung gagawin mong assumption diyan, eh, yung parang sa volume. Pero this time, This is for surface area. Say surface area 1 is equal to pi times d1 squared. Of course, surface area 2 is equal to pi times d2 squared. Ayan. So, pwede kang magsimula dyan. And of course, we know that the increase is 21. For the area, it's 21% increase. So, ang hinahanap, ano yung impact nito sa diameter? So, baliktad, no? So, ang given yung increase sa area. Excuse me. Baliktad siya. Okay? So, i-input mo muna ngayon dito that your S sub 2, which is the increased surface area, is 1.21 S sub 2. Yan. Ayan, pwede ka na
Example.
mag-divide dyan. Then of course, sa
Divide
surface
po.
area, matitira, 1.21 na lang. So, pwede mong solvein yung ratio of SA2 over SA1. Tapos sa kabilang side, yun namang in terms of diameter.
Hmm.
Okay, gets ba?
Opo, pero, ang lumabas po sa'kin 1.4 po, 46.
Mukhang
Parang
malaki yan.
mali.
Malaki yan. Kasi
Kaya nga po, eh.
isipin mo, ang area ang binigay 21%. So you must expect a little less. Dahil side diameter lang yung tinatanong Katulad kanina, 1% increase on the side of the cube would mean 3.03% on the volume. Okay, numerically, mas mataas sa volume. Ganon din dito. Numerically, mas mataas yung 21%. So we are expecting a lesser value in terms of diameter. On the
Hmm.
increase on diameter. Okay?
Paano ba?
Ayan, kunin mo yung ratio. Of course, yung pi maka-cancel na sa right side of the equation. Ang maiiwan na lang dyan, d2 squared over d1 squared is equal to, yan, yung ratio nila is obviously
Okay
1.21.
po.
Okay na? So what's the answer?
Nakakuha ko na po. 1.1 po.
Yes, 1.1 or simply 10%. 10%
Opo.
increase.
Hindi
Ayan.
ko po pala siya na square root.
Yun lang. Okay. Kailangan yung square root.
Opo.
Mahalaga yun. No, kasi hindi mo masosolve yung relation pag hanggat nandun yung squared sa kabila. Okay? How about
Okay.
the next number, which I think
363 at 62
2. Sige,
po.
solve mo na rin to. Same nature to.
Oo nga po, eh. 362.
Given surface of the diameter, D. So, solvein mo siya. Okay.
Cube.
Surface area. Okay, ang relation ng volume sa surface
Plus.
area. Parang na-derive na natin to Naalala ko, no? Yung surface area in terms of volume. I'm not so sure if we have already derived that. Parang meron tayong ganito na hindi na natin
Volume.
pinadaan ng radius saka diameter. Diretso yung relation ng volume saka surface area. No, kaya nabanggit yung D diyan kasi ang parang yung D yung magiging arbiter mo.
Hmm. Okay po.
Magiging siya yung gitnang term, common term for volume as well as surface area. Kaya binanggit yung D. No, kasi wala talagang direct relation yung dalawa eh, yung volume saka surface. It's through diameter or radius. Yan. Isela, saglit lang ha,
Sige po.
while you're solving. Okay, so how do you proportion the two?
Sir, ano po, na inano ko po siya, 'di ba po, 21 po siya. I mean, 21 ba?
21%. Yung surface area na
Opo,
increase.
21 po
Hmm.
diameter.
And then,
Ano po siya, ni-cube ko po.
okay, because of,
Pero ang lumabas po, 1.77 po,
malaki.
given
Laki yan.
sphere. Oo nga
Though,
po.
ang expectation natin, mas malaki ng konti kasi volume eh. Numerically, higher dapat. Kasi volume, cubic yan eh. So, we're expecting a numerically slightly higher percentage, but not that high. So, maybe we could review the relation of the two. Huh? Relation of the two.
What's the
Diameter kasi, no? Pero
percentage?
pwede ng radius dyan eh. So, this is 262. Okay, so we recall again. Yung na-derive natin, pi d squared na lang, no? Tama ba?
Opo.
Pi d squared. Pi d squared. Okay. How about the volume? What's the volume of a sphere?
Volume.
Hmm.
Ano nga ba yan?
Ayan, dapat mga ano yan, part ng memory bank natin yan. Yung mga formula na yan. Palaging partner yan,
Sphere
surface
segment
area.
po.
Hmm. In terms of radius muna, then we'll convert it to diameter afterwards. Kasi parang common denominator is diameter. Though we may use radius. No problem with that. What is the formula mo
Sure.
niyan?
Yun po ba yung ano, yung pi h squared? Hindi po ba yun?
Hindi, ano to eh, sphere eh. So wala kang height diyan.
Ah,
It's a complete
sphere.
sphere. Tama ba?
Ano po,
Sphere,
yung po ba
sphere
yung
to
ano,
eh.
pi r cube po?
Parang kulang 'yun.
Ano nga ba yun?
Oh, 4/3,
Ah,
'di ba?
yun po ba yung 4/,
4/3.
opo, opo,
Naalala mo nung dinerivative natin 'yan, ano lumabas? Pi r squared,
um,
4 pi r squared which is surface area. Ibig sabihin pala yung derivative ng
opo,
volume, surface area. Naalala mo pa 'yon?
opo,
Pansinin mo, itong yung surface area expand natin, 4 pi
pi,
r squared. 4 pi r squared.
hmm,
Oh, yan. And yung volume, 4/3
ay,
pi r cube. Pag kinuha mo yung derivative niyan, yung b prime, with respect to radius, so bababa si 3, di ba? So 3 times 4/3, tanggal si 3. Anong matitira? Pi r squared.
pi r,
3 minus 1 is
opo,
3. 2 rather. So yan yung relation niya.
opo,
So,
tanda ko na po.
ayan. So volume, derivative of volume, which is the area, surface area, is 4 pi r squared.
R squared.
So
Pero ang kinukulit,
balik tayo dito. Kasi pinakita ko lang pero ang component mo dapat dun sa volume ay D.
diameter.
Pero pwede naman natin siyang ganito na lang ang kasi ito obvious naman eh, walang problema, pi lang siya eh. Parang lalabas diyan, SA is equal to K. We will generalize the constant pi, which is K, D squared. So therefore, S varies. Teka, insert ko nga 'to. Nga pala may symbols ako dito. mabagal lang talagang processor. So your surface area varies with the square of the diameter. Kasi may constant na doon. Pag gusto mong tanggalin yung constant, i-apply mo yung variation form symbol.
Yes
Wala
po.
naman yung alpha dito. Kaya yun. Yan. Magkadikit. Yan, di ba? Surface area varies with the square of the diameter. Okay? So, yan yung... Now, how about the volume? So, pag dinerive pa natin to, at R is equal to, we substitute R is equal to D over 2 para makita lang natin 4/3 times pi,
R
so
po.
times D over 2 cube. Yan. So, this one 4/3. Kasi lahat ito magiging constant to eh. Pati yung ngayon dinistribute mo, uy, nawala. This is talaga nga naman yung daliri ko hindi na umaano sa ayos. D cube over 8. So anong implication niyan? Simplify natin. Volume now is 4 pi over 3 times 8, 24 times d cube. So pwede natin siyang i-summary ngayon. Yung lahat ng yan, 4 pi over 24 as k. K times d cube. That's a more generalization. Therefore, pwede rin natin siyang ganitohin.
4.
Ayan, volume now varies directly with the cube of the diameter. Okay? So this time, this is not squared. Uy, nangyari. Wala. Talaga nga naman to si ano. Ito lang yung ini-edit ko eh. Ayan. So yan yung dalawang generalization natin. So hindi siya magkatugma kung tutuusin. Okay? Hindi mo pwedeng pagtugmain kasi d squared to, eto d cube.
Is hindi clear.
Okay. So ang tanong, paano mo ngayon pag i-join force tong dalawang to? Kasi ang gusto natin ay yung dalawa lang eh.
Ay.
Yung dalawa lang. Paano kaya yan?
Naano ko pa na, ang ginawa ko po, ni Q, ni square ko po muna yung ano, yung 1.21 tapos times ko po sa 1.21. Lumabas po 1.33.
What's 1.33?
Pa,
What's
yung ano po
1.33?
niya, yung volume po niya,
So how many percent is that?
nag-increase siya.
Okay. Kunin mo lang yung decimal place. That's a percentage.
33.1 po.
Teka, yung choice natin. So roughly, it's 33% on the choice here. Letter D. Oh, tama yun.
Ang
Tama yun. Pero kung ano, sa mo kinuha yung relation, dapat ma-establish muna natin yung direct relation ng BD Actually,
Ginawa ko po
sige.
itinimes ko po siya.
Come again?
Itinimes ko po yung square root po ng 1.21 times 1.21. Hindi, yun nga po sabi niyo po, hindi po pwedeng pag ano niyo po yung d cube tsaka po yung d squared.
Oo,
Opo,
hindi
yun.
pa. May gagawin ka pa kasi diyan.
Ay, ganun po ba?
May gagawin ka pa diyan.
Paano pong Ganun po kasi ginawa ko. Para pong pinaghiwalay ko po yung d cube po.
Mm. Hiniwalay mo.
Opo.
So you get the actually ito mamanipulate mo lang 'to. Ilagay mo sa kabila 'to.
Ah,
Ano mangyayari diyan? Magiging D na lang siya, 'di
hmm.
ba? Ito,
Opo.
ilagay mo yung cube sa kabila, magiging D na lang. Puwede mo nang i-vary yung dalawa. Nakakuha mo? Sige, kunin mo.
Ano po ulit?
I-transfer mo yung squared sa kabila. So, ano yung implication niya? Magiging square root siya sa SE. Ito, magiging square root siya.
Hmm.
Puwede mo rin kasing i-manipulate ang variation expressions. Para din siyang equation, tinanggal mo lang yung constant. So, gano'n lang yung sense niya. O ito, tanggal na 'tong ano na 'to, yun lang, 'di ko naman matanggal uli. Ayan. The square, the positive, hindi puwedeng negative diyan. The positive root of SA varies directly with the diameter. Ito, gano'n din. The cube root, uy, di pala, mali. Dapat ay pull down ko yung cube root. Ayan, cube root. Ay, varies directly with the D. Ayan, swak na siya, oh. Pagharapin mo na siya ngayon.
Yung square root po ng 1.21. Tapos, cube root.
Oh, kasi kinuha mo sa D, eh. Eh, common yung D, oh. Puwede na 'yan. Varies na siya.
Ang ginawa ko po cube root po, 1.21.
Cube root.
Tama po ba?
Dapat square root dapat yun, eh, ta's cube. Pero you arrive at the same answer, 'no? Ayan. Then, palitan sila
Opo.
ngayon. Palitan 'yan. Parang ang ginawa natin, binase natin sa relation ng D para ma-establish yung relation nila. Then afterwards, you could create your direct relation towards each other. So this case, the cube will transfer to the other side, the square will transfer to the other side. So this would become, yan. So, yung square root sa kabila, magiging square dito. Kasi ang kailangan lang natin talaga ma-establish yung relation, eh. That varies, the square now of the volume varies with the cube of the surface area. dito nakuha yon, yung ganong relation. Ayan. So from there, you could create now based on the assumption that the first area, the second area is 21%. There's an increase of area, surface area for 21%. Yan na, pwede na. Na-establish na natin yung relationship eh. So it follows if area 2 is equal to 1.21 area 1. O yan na yun. Yung katulad ng ginagawa natin kanina, area 1, so pwede na siya. Pwede na siya i-proportionate. Dali lang ah. I need to answer this call again. Masyadong demand tayo ngayon.
Sige po.
Okay. Hazel, I need to go out for few minutes. Okay lang ba?
Sige po.
Eto na yung ano
Okay
ng
lang po.
plano, yung kanina nakita mo yung malaking plano. Kukunin na ng
Opo.
client ko. Hindi nakakaya naman
Oo,
na ano. Sige saglit lang saglit.
sige po.
Okay. Okay. So, what's your did you see it? It's 1.33. Pwede ka na kasi dito mag
Opo.
ano, variation eh. Ayan, oh. So pwede na siya. So doon sa side ng surface area, ayan, i-ano mo na siya. So parang yung numerator mo, B2 varies with B squared, B1, B2, okay, B1 squared. Yeah, magiging varies with area 1 cube. Pwede na yan. And then B2 squared, then kunin mo na lang yung ano, you'll just get the quotient, no? B2
Opo.
over B1 quantity squared. Ayan. Okay? So, doon makukuha yung ratio which is 1.21 raised to 3 over 2. Cube siya and then may square. Saan galing yun? Ito, yung mga exponent. So, this one,
Hmm.
ito yung nasa area ng side ka ng area. So, cube talaga yon. And then, bababa tong exponent pababa. So, magiging square root siya sa kabila. Okay? Kaya magiging 1.21
Okay po.
raised to 3 over 2 or 1.5. So in effect, the volume will increase to 33% or 1.33 of the original. Okay? So,
Ang pagkakaintindi ko po ay ano,
ano,
yung nga pong ano, yung D-cube po, kung paano po yun ano, yung sabi niyo po kanina, ang ginawa ko po, pinaghiwalay ko po. Nilabas ko po yung isang, ginawa ko pong squared po, tsaka yung ano na lang,
squared.
isang ano na lang. Opo, kaya
But
ang lumabas po, ganun po.
ganun pa rin, numerically the same, no?
Opo.
Di sige. Sa board naman, walang problema yan. Basta, it's not how, what's your answer. Because the computer will check your answer. What is your answer, not how did you get the answer. Okay?
Opo.
So yun yun. So anyway, so perhaps that's numerically possible, no? Grabe 'tong araw, dami kong client ngayon. Binitbit ko pa yung ano, bigat nung ano, mga ilang kilong bigas din.
Ano po yun? Eh, di ba ang dami po nun?
Hmm,
Paano niyo po yun na ano?
mabilis, paspasan yun kanina. That's why I have not eaten my lunch.
Pirma lang po yun?
Pirma, sign and seal siya. Yung seal lang medyo
Ah,
matagal, eh, kasi kailangan bumakat yung sign mabilis na ako mag-sign ngayon.
opo.
So dati bagal din, eh. But anyway, so yan na ano naman, natututunan naman. Okay, next item. Next item.
Um, 3. Hindi ko po nasagutan yung ano, 365 po at 366.
Sige, we'll look at that. 366.
365 po, opo, tsaka 366.
365 and 366. Okay.
Opo.
Find the volume of a cone to be constructed from a sector having a diameter. So it will be coming from a sphere or rather a circle. From a circle, you'll get the sector of that circle that will form a cone. So imagine mo gugupit ka ng portion ng circle at tatayo ang isang cone, ang right circular cone. Okay? Form a sector having a diameter of 72 centimeters and the central angle is 270 degrees. So, yan yung makikita natin doon. Okay. think I need to draw something there. 365. Okay, so we could here we could have the circumference of the circle as c sub 1, circumference of the circle, and then we have c2, c2 which is the circumference of the base of the cone. And then we need to solve for the difference. The difference is the length of arc. Ayan. So gugupitin mo, yung gugupitin mo sa circle, kasi ang tinitingnan natin dito, 'di ba sa circle merong major arc saka minority arc. Naalala mo sa geometry 'yon? Kaya yung given is
Opo.
majority arc. Majority arc niya which is 210, lagpas ng ano 'yan, lagpas ng 180. So meaning lagpas ng semicircle. So lagpas siya. Okay? So ang maggugupit mo, ang matitira rather, yun ang magiging length of arc. Kapag ginupit mo yung circumference ng circle, gugupitin mo yung circumference of the base, matitira yung length of arc. Okay, given 210 degrees. Yung kanyang what you call that? Ano ba yung sabi dito ng ano? The central angle na tinatawag. O yung central angle niya, which is 210. Of course, that corresponds to the remaining portion of the the circle na hindi nagamit sa cone. Okay? Okay, make sense? Make sense of that?
Hmm.
Okay,
Opo.
so may mga formula tayo. Of course, circumference 1 is 2 pi r. Dali lang. Okay, nagdit lang. So we have the formula here. Yung circumference of the circle, c sub 1. Then you have the c. Nakalimutan ko pa. Length of the arc. So yan yung the one that will be subtracted such that what remains will be used for the cone. Will be used for the cone. So yung, hindi ko ma-edit yung Word document. So given there also the length of the arc which is equal to rho theta or r radius theta times the angle or the theta which is given equivalent to 210 degrees, which needs to be converted to degree radians or radians measurement rather than uh, uh, degree measurement. Okay, whenever we manipulate the angle, it should be always in radian measurement. Okay, so 210 degrees in rads. Okay, and then what will be the result? The result will be the circumference of the base of the circle of the cone rather, which is still 2 pi times x, since we don't know the length of the radius that will be formed. Okay, because our objective here is to solve for the volume. Am I right? The volume of the cone. So yun yung makikita natin dito sa ating problem. Find the volume of the cone. So we need uh, to determine the radius of the right circular cone derived from the circle, so that we may know the volume. Okay? Because if we know the radius, we will know the volume. Tama ba?
Mhm.
Okay? So yan. So from here, we could have some manipulation such that the circumference that will be derived from the cone would be equal to the circumference of the circle minus the arc length. Okay? So from here, we could uh, drop in the formula 2 pi x for C sub 2. For C sub 1 is 2 pi r, obviously. Okay? I think the given is, what's the given? 36, no? 265. Diameter of 72. So therefore, the radius is 36. Tama ba? Okay? 2 pi
Mm.
r minus the arc length, which is, so if we will solve this in terms of radius times the theta or the angle. So for this case, it's or angle na lang siguro. So from here, we could solve for x. So yung 2 pi, i-divide niya. So x would be equal to, so cancel yung 2 pi ng kabila, r na lang, minus, okay? So r minus r times the angle or theta all over 2 pi. Kasi dinerive, we divide both sides of the equation by 2 pi. So yung natira nandoon sa angle. But of course, we need to solve for the angle. Still x, r is 36. Substitute na natin. Dali lang. Okay. So 36 is the radius given diameter of 72. 36. Okay. So divide na natin yung 2 pi diyan. Nandiyan na yung 2 pi. Pwede nating times the quantity. Yung angle mismo, teka, ano ba yung given? 210 o 150?
Hindi po ba totem? Breads.
O nga, no? Teka, kasi dito, find the volume of a cone to be constructed from a sector having a diameter of 72 centimeter and central angle. So, kukunin siya. So, ang matitira ay 150. Tama ba? Yung mismong 2010, yun yung kasama sa cone. Tama? To be constructed from a sector having a diameter of 72 centimeter and a new. So manggagaling yung kukunin yung cone doon. So ang matitira 150 pala. It's a mistake. 150 yung matitira
Yung
kasi
ano po,
ito yung matitira length of arc
um,
Yung
opo.
C2 yan yung magiging radius, magiging circumference ng base of the cone. So pag sinubtract mo yan, so automatic yun. Yung 2010 mapupunta dun sa C2. Okay?
Hmm,
So, yun. Yun yung makikita
okey
natin
po.
doon. So, ang mangyayari dito, 150 na to. Kasi ito yung natira. Kasi 2010 or 210 yung ginamit na assumed na ginamit doon. So, how will you convert 150 in rods? So, this is to be multiplied to 2 pi divided by 360. Tandaan mo, 2 pi rods is 360 degrees. For you to cancel the degrees, kailangan yung 360 nasa denominator at yung 2 pi nasa numerator to make it in rods measurement. Okay? So, there will be some cancellation there. Can you simplify this, Isel? 36 minus 36 over 2 pi times the quantity 150 times 2 pi over 360.
Mawawala na po ba yung dalawang tupay?
Yes. Because, oo, tanggal yung 2 pi. Tama.
Opo. So, magiging
So, mag-iiwan dyan 150 over 360. You could simplify that. However, 36 and 360 could be magiging G's na lang. Eh, may 150 ka pa. So, magiging 15 na lang doon. I don't know how will you, so yung may 15 ka, and may 36 ka pang iso-subtract. Ayan, binigay ko na pala yung sagot. Sige, you compute.
hindi po ba magiging 0 na yun, yung 36 minus 36?
Hindi,
Or
kasi 36 over 2 pi siya eh. Magkaiba yan.
ah,
So, later na tong 36. Set aside mo muna yan. Itong simplify mo.
okey po.
So, yung 2 pi
Hindi
dito,
po siya maka-cancel?
cancel ng 2 pi dito. Yun,
Opo.
cancel
Okey po.
yan.
Eh, di
Oo. Kasi ito, di namin, okay.
36
Yeah. Tapos yung 36, cancel ng 360, matitira sa denominator, G's. 10, di ba? Eh, may 150
opo.
ka pa sa numerator. Cancel na rin yung G's. Matitira, 15 sa numerator. Oh, eh
Opo.
15 na lang 'yun. Ayan na.
Okey.
Kaya sinabi ko na 'yung sagot, eh. O ano na lang ang sagot, 36 minus 15,
Ano po, 21 na lang.
21 centimeters. So this is the radius of the base of the cone. Okay? Now, the next thing to do, since we already have the radius of the cone, the radius of the right circular cone, we need to solve for the height also. Height of the cone para ma-solve natin yung volume. And what's the height of the cone? So we could establish the relationship of the three parameters. Okay, the radius of the circle where you derive the sector to be cut para maging cone, and then the radius of the cone itself and the height. So there are what we call Pythagorean relationship. Pansinin mo yung cone,
Pythagorean.
wala bang cone? Wala kasi ang apa eh. Pag bumibili kami ng ice cream, diretsong sa baso eh. Imagine mo na lang yung cone. Yung pinaka-slant doon,
Opo.
yung slant, yan yung radius ng pinanggalingan mong bilog. 'Di ba? 'Di ba ginupit mo yung portion ng bilog, ginupit mo, yung sector
Opo.
mismong ganon. So, yan yung magiging slant ng cone mo. Tama? Yung radius ng circle,
Opo.
yan yung magiging slant. And then, meron ka ng radius sa baba. Na-compute natin yung radius, 32 cm. Masosolve mo yung height by Pythagorean theorem. Okay ba yon?
Okay po.
So, yung height,
Yung height po 'di ba yung 36 ay, radius pala yun.
yung height mo, Pythagorean identity lang to. is equal to 36 squared.
36 squared.
Squared, that's the
Tapos
radius
yung
of the
21
circle,
po ba yun?
minus the 32 squared that we computed, which is the radius of the base of the cone. Ayan. So we could solve for h.
Ano po? 29.2403.
Ayan, 29.2 or 24 ba? What's the decimal
Opo.
point? 29.24
20, opo.
centimeter. Ayan. So from there, you could derive now the volume. Basically, 1/3 times pi r squared, h.
Tapos height.
Ayan. Kindly substitute the values. Actually, yung r dito, this is the, yan yung computed radius. Tama. Or, hindi. Teka. Wait. Wait a minute. Ba't 32 pala yung nasulat ko dito? 21, di ba? Tama? 15, 36 minus 15.
Opo.
Kaya, siguro
Opo.
yung kamay ko. Kasi magkatabi ang 3 sa 2, di ba? Pag nag-move ka ng daliri mo, di ba pag keyboard ano ka, yung hindi yung yung keyboard yung fingers mo. Pag nag-move yun, sigurado 3-2. Eh, tataka ko, saan na kaya mapunta yung 32? So, hindi to 32 pala. It's a mistake. This is 21 squared. Tama?
Opo.
Oh, mali pala ako dun. Eh, tataka ako, bakit 32 yan? Wala naman 32 kanina. So, ito, what's the volume?
Ano po, ang nakuha ko po eh 13,503.58 po.
Okay, okay na yan. Meron ng sagot dyan. Cubic centimeters.
Cubic centimeter.
Okay? I think there's a choice already.
Letter. What letter is that?
That is,
Letter C.
okay, yes, letter C. Okay, other items? 366.
Yung, apo.
Sige.
Parang parehas lang din po eh.
O, parang pareho ng, no, magkahawig siya. Ganun talaga to eh. Mga
Opo.
related questions. Oh, maybe you could solve now. Find the volume of a cone. Be circumscribed from a sector having a diameter. Iniba lang yung angle.
Sige.
Sige, practice yun. Sige, with the procedures that we have. And
Ay,
then, just give the answer.
parang binaliktad lang nga lang po.
Parang binaliktad niya kasi 150, no? Eh, 2010 to.
Opo.
Hindi, pero may iba ang sagot. Sige, you try to compute na lang.
Sige po.
Okay, ano mo na lang. Copy paste mo na lang yung 2010 sa 150. So this would be a little bit lower in value. Pag natapos natin to, Acel, we will go to the kern and plan. Just lang, standby lang yung kern and plan. Kasi madali lang matapos tong reviewer na to eh.
Opo.
Ito naman tayo. Pagtapos nun, tapos na. Tapos na itong course na to. O, di ba? Parang kailan lang, no?
Oo nga po eh. Ang ano po, yung X po, 15 centimeter po.
Yes, correct.
So, sa height,
Yung height, yung gusto mong solve.
Sa height po 32.72 po
Okay, correct.
centimeter.
72 or 73. Okay na yan, no problem with that. Then the volume.
Volume. Ano po, 7,709 po, 0.46.
7,709.
709.
Ah,
Apo,
so the nearest
letter
there
C.
is letter C. Okay, correct. Okay, other items.
Hanggang anong number po ba 'to?
Parang ano eh, 369 ba ang pagkakaalala ko? Parang I asked you to solve
Ang
from
natapos ko lang po
ano.
ang natapos ko lang po hanggang 367.
Sige, tuloy natin yung 368. Anyway, we have
Sige po.
more ano na naman, konti na lang. Siguro I could maximize
Apa.
solving few more items here. Okay, 367. 367, no?
Opo, hanggang dun lang po yung nasagutan ko.
Pero you have solved this already. You got the answer.
Op Opo,
What's your answer?
sa 367 po.
Mm.
Ano po, letter C po, 381.70 cube centimeter po.
Okay, that's correct. That's correct. Sige. Sige, 368 tayo. Okay. What's the height of a right circular cone having a slant height? So yung slant ng height niya of square root of 10x and the base diameter is 2x. Pero big yung tanong niyan. So you have the ano lang yan, Pythagorean identity. Kaya mo pala to. Solve. Go. Pythagorean identity lang yan.
Oh,
Diameter 2x, therefore radius is x. Then triangular yun. Yung slanted height mo versus your radius. And then we could solve for the height. Ayan, Pythagorean lang yan. Okay, you try to solve.
Pythagorean po.
Pythagorean lang. You try to solve for the height given the slant, length, and the radius.
Slant height.
Diameter is 2x, therefore radius is x. Then the slant height is square root of 10. So we could solve for height.
Ano nga po bang formula nito?
Ayun, Pythagorean lang identity. Yung slant height is the
Pythagorean.
hypotenuse. And one of the side is the radius. Therefore, we could solve for the height, which is one of also of the side.
Hmm. Parang
Okay? So your initial equation would be the hypotenuse is the slant height, which is square root of 10x squared. Square root of 10x squared. Actually, may typographical to. There's a typographical error because the square root there only pertains to 10, not x. So, square root of 10, x. Hindi siya square root of 10x. Nagets mo yung pagkakaiba? May typographical. I think that's a
Hmm.
typographical error. Kasi magkakaroon ng cancellation. Dapat magkaroon ng cancellation kahit papaano yung x. I would say that's make it square root of 10 x, not square root of 10x. Nagets mo ano, Hazel? The
Medyo na
radicand
ano po ako.
the radicand should be only 10, not 10x.
Okay po.
Okay? So, yun. Parang, kasi nga, medyo komplikado pag pinasok mo yung x sa loob ng radicand, radical sign.
Mhm.
Ayan, katulad yan. That's a typographical error. Pero that's a board exam for civil engineer. Ngayon, pag ang isang examinee, hindi marunong mag-manipulate ng question, it will lead to a wrong answer. Or at at worst, he cannot find the answer among the choices. That's the problem.
Mhm.
So, then kailangan din ng creativity. Kasi pag komplikado pag tama yung yung square root of 10x kaysa square root of 10 x. That's the hypotenuse equal to the sum of the square of the sides, which is h squared. Let h be the height, and given radius x squared. So we could solve for h.
Height.
Yes.
Sige po, wait. Ano nga po ulit yung gagamitin? Yung
Square root of 10.
Ay,
Pythagorean lang siya actually. Pythagorean theorem lang.
yung formula po. Pythagorean lang po.
Yes, to solve for h.
Square root of 10 plus.
What's h? H is in terms of x.
Hindi po ba siya ano, sir? Square root of 10x is equal to h squared po. Tapos yung 2x squared po.
Hindi, ano yun? X lang kasi diameter yung given as 2x. So
Okay
radius
po.
lang kailangan mo. Kaya x lang siya. X
Radius lang.
squared. Kasi diameter is given at 2x, so therefore radius is x. Applying Pythagorean
Okay.
theorem, magiging x squared siya.
Ano po, ang sagot ko po ay 3x po.
Okay. 3x is the answer. Parang ang tagal ah. Di ba madali lang siya?
Sinama, sinama ko po kasi yung 2x.
No, diameter yun, di ba?
Ang sagot ko po ay
Kaya
pala.
magiging komplikado yung sagot mo.
Kaya po ang sagot ko po 7 eh. Sabi ko bakit
Wala.
wala
Wala
naman
sa
sa
choice. Paano
family.
yan? Pag ganyan talaga, intelligent guess sa board exam. O kaya, maghanap ka ng paraan, creatively, there might be some typographical error on the question where you could derive the correct answer. Katulad kanina, yung x dyan, hindi talaga kasama dun sa radical sign. So, it's just 10,
Opo.
square root of 10, x. O, di ba? Kasi kahit anong solve mo
Mhm.
niyan, pag sinama mo yung x, walang sagot. Okay? So, ang tendency ng examine kapag hindi makita ang sagot, mababagot yan. Ayun na, dire-diretso na yun. Kahit yung mga alam niyang sagot, you will be affected already. That happens most of the time when an examinee, whether it's engineering board or teacher's board, would focus much on that particular item. Naubos yung oras niya. Alam ba, 30 minutes ka nang kakasolve ng isang item lang. O di ba? Imagine mo yun. To consume 30
Opo.
minutes just for one item. Hindi ikaw example lang. Example. It's not di naman umabot 30 minutes ano lang few minutes lang yun Pero sa exam nangyayari 'to. And I've seen some
Oo nga.
mga katabi ko pa nga sa board exam. Talagang hirap na hirap, naluluha na. Tapos nung sinasagot niya na yung mga alam niya, na ano na, hindi na masagot. Kumbaga na ano na siya, parang na-shock na dun sa answer. Kaya ako, ang strategy ko, kapag mahirap, muna, tini-take note ko yun. I answer easy questions first. Para may momentum ako. May momentum ka. Di ba yung law of momentum, di ba? When you have uh, enough kinetic energy, so pwede mo nang ma-surpass yun. Kung ano man yung pumipigil dun sa motion. That's law of momentum. Unlike kapag nasa stationary ka at bigla kang lalarga na may mga resistance, katulad ng mga friction, mahirapan ka. But if you have a momentum already, katulad 'di ba pag sa driver 'di ba pag may acceleration siya, mas mabilis yung pag may mga friction, may mga road baga rough roads. Unlike kapag
Opo.
nasa stationary ka tas lalarga ka, mahirap. Pero kung meron ka ng energy, kinetic energy, mas mabilis yung compared ganun din sa board exam. Kaya kung ipon ka muna ng kinetic energy mo sa mga madadaling sagot. Definitely nakakalat yung madadaling sagot. Yun lang ang worst scenario nito makalimutan mong ma-solve o balikan yung item na yun. Yun naman yung worst dun. Kaya ang suggestion ng ibang mga reviewer, sunod-sunod din pagsagot. Pero ako, not necessary. Pwede mong piliin muna yung kaya mo at this particular time habang pina-process pa ng utak mo yung mga mahihirap na sagot, definitely meron din sagot yan. At pag nag-pop up na sa utak mo, balikan mo na siya. Kasi naman ng mind, pag inaral mo naman ang isang bagay, magkakaroon siya ng it will be put to your remembrance sooner or later. Though it's not instantaneous most of the time. Pag hindi siya stock knowledge, hindi instantaneous yun. Kailangan mong halukayin pa sa utak mo yun. At habang hinahalukay mo, sumasagot ka na ng mga madadaling item. Okay, gets mo ba? Kaysa yung mag-focus ka sa isang item, naubos yung oras mo na
Ubus yung oras.
tapos kinabahan ka na
Kakasolve.
dahil kakabahan ka na nun 'Pag yung konti na yung oras mo tapos sasagutan mo yung madadali, I doubt kung masasagutan mo talaga yun.
Nape-pressure ka po.
Yes, yung pressure. Okay, next item. Ah,
Sa 369 na po.
369 yes. Pasensya na medyo maliit yung file ko dito kaya parang medyo naluluha ako dun sa photo file na 'to, eh. 'Pag pinalaki ko naman siya nawawala naman, ayun kaya okey lang na 'wag ko nang ipakita sa OBS kasi baka maano na naman, eh, masira na naman yung broadcast
Okay.
natin. Okay, the ratio of the volume of a lateral area of a right circular cone, the ratio of the volume to the lateral area. We differentiate already 'no, the lateral area is just the volume or that's the area of the surface and does not include the base. Okay? 'Pag sinabing surface area, that is the lateral area plus the area of the base. Okay? 'Pag sinabing lateral
Opo.
lang, yung surface lang, hindi kasama yung takip. Kung yan ay cone,
Hmm.
hindi kasama yung base, it's just the surface, yung lateral niya, lateral surface. So, ang ratio daw nun is 2:1. If the altitude is 15 centimeter, what's the ratio of the slant height to the radius? Oo, naku, parang malupit 'tong tanong na 'to, ah. Right. So, kaya ako magsisimula dito. Teka, this question, needs some, kailangan ko pang halukayin, sandali. Pero sige, tuloy natin 'yan. Hindi naman board exam 'to, eh, iniisip ko lang. Meron kasi ding mga tanong na ano, eh, you need to rethink. Sige, sige. But this is a good item, ah. 3 habang iniisip ko yung okay, given kasing lateral area,
2-1.
sige, iniisip ko pa. Hindi siya yung kasi nga kung ano, hindi kasama dito yung area of the base, 'no? It's just the lateral area. Tama, tama. Okay, na-gets ko na. Area is equal to or the lateral area, eto, I would say this lateral area, LA na lang, is equal to pi RL. Pi times the radius times the slanted height. Yan. Yan yung slanted height mo or L. Okay? So that's the first formula. Now the second formula is regarding volume. You know the formula for the volume of the cone, right? Can you give me the formula?
Opo. 1/3 pi r ay, pi r squared h po.
Correct. 1/3 pi r squared each. Okay. Now the next given there is the ratio of the volume and the lateral area. What's again the ratio? Volume over the lateral area. According to the
Pi
problem,
r squared.
what's the ratio of volume and the lateral area?
Ano po, sir?
Based on the problem that we have read. Sorry, I don't see the ano, eh, sa view ko hindi ko nakatakip yung PDF file, eh. Can you see what's the ratio based on the
Ratio
problem?
po
Oh,
ng,
3 ng volume sa lateral area.
ah, yun po ba yung ano, yung 2-1 po?
2. So 2, twice. Tama ba?
Opo,
2
opo.
is to 1. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, hindi ko nakikita, eh, sorry. So 2 siya, 2:1. So meaning,
Okay.
it follows true that the volume numerical 'to, hindi 'to yung actual kasi magkaiba siya ng volume is cubic, 'di ba, centimeters or cubic meter. Lateral area is square centimeters or square meter. So, this is just numerical. This does not include the units. Okay? So, kasi magkakaproblema sa units. So, ibig bang sabihin nag-cancel yung units ng dalawa para maging 2 lang? Not necessary. This is just a numerical ratio. This does not include the units. Kasi pag kasamang unit, may matitirang centimeter or meter sa numerator, 'di ba? So, pero hindi 'yun ang ano nito, this is just a numerical ratio. So, meaning the numerical ratio is 2. Therefore, numerically, the volume is twice as the lateral area. Okay? So, that's our now, if we'll go back to the volume is 1/3 times pi times radius squared or h. Okay? And then we will substitute 2 times LA. Substitute na natin. And what is LA? 2 times pi times r times L. Can you see? Teka, i-aano ko 'to, bababa ko, 'yan. So, volume now is twice numerically of the lateral surface. So, the volume on the left side is equal to twice the lateral area. Okay? Make sense?
Ano nga po ulit, sir?
Okay, ulit. The volume, which is this formula, 1/3 pi r squared h, is equal now to twice of the lateral area.
Okay po.
And lateral area, we define it as pi rl. Okay? So therefore, we equate the two, and then we could now solve for the area or for the ratio, because what is asked there is the ratio. The ratio of, naku, bumalik na naman sa maliit. Ano nga bang ratio? Ratio of, pakiulit, can
Ratio
you, ratio of slanted,
ng height po.
anong diyan sa problem mismo? Anong, kasi nawala dito sa
Ratio
aking
of slant height po.
n, the radius. Tama?
Opo, to the
Yun.
radius po.
Yun. Yun yung hinahanap dito, eh. Bira yung photo viewer ko, masyadong maliit. Oh, yun, can you solve? Sige, you derive. There are a lot of cancellations there. Then at the end, you could have L over R in terms of whatever is on the left side, right side of the equation. Basta igilid mo lang yung L saka yung R. Daan.
Okay po.
Sige.
N over R. Ano po ay L over R po, tapos is equal to 6 over H po.
Come again? It's equal to?
6 over H po.
Are you sure? L over R?
Opo, is equal to 6 over 6. Um,
H over 6 or 6
hindi
over
po pala.
H?
Kasi po, H over 6 po.
Yan, kala ko kasi nga yung ka-level kasi nung L, slanted height, yung height din kaya nga L over 6,
Opo.
okey? Ayan. So, of course at H is equal to 15, so therefore, the ratio now, is equal to what? Reduce the ratio, simplify the ratio.
Hindi magiging ano po siya. 15 over 6. Ano po, maging 5 over 2 po. Yung LR po.
Anong item
Kasi
naman yan?
dinivide ko po siya
Dali,
sa 3.
hindi ko makita talaga, masyadong malabo yung photo viewer ko. We're still in 369, so it becomes
Opo.
5:2. Tama? 5:2 is the answer.
Opo.
Yan. Lumiit na naman, ba't ganito 'to? Hindi siya nag-a-adjust, depende dun, nagpipit siya dun sa window mismo, eh. 'Pag in-adjust ko naman mawawala yung page. Parang weird. Yan, letter D is 5:2. Okay, good. 5:2 yan. Okay, let's move on. Kaya pa ba to
Kaya pa naman
next
po.
item? Siguro last na 'tong 5:17. Okay, so almost 4:30 na rin. Then, tuloy mo na lang as an assignment another 10 items. So gano'n lang
Sige
siya.
po.
'Pag natapos natin, punta tayo sa kern and blend. Definitely, maximize natin yung kern and blend by finals. Though some portion of midterm. Okay, a regular triangular pyramid has an altitude of 9 meters and a volume of 187 cubic meters. What is the base edge in meters? Okay. So first is to draw a regular triangular pyramid. Hazel, you draw first.
Gusto.
When you say triangular, it could be an equilateral, all equilateral triangle yan. Ibig sabihin yung base equilateral, ganun din yung mga side triangles are also, or perhaps not necessary, just the base. Just the base is an equilateral triangle base. Pare-pareho yung sukat niya. Definitely the angle theta for each of the interior angles of a triangle is 60 degrees because the total is 180 divided by 3, 60 degrees per edge yung angulo kasi equilateral siya. Okay? So first is to yan. So given volume, given altitude, what is the base edge? The x. Parang lahat yon x. Yung side x sa tatlong side ng equilateral triangle. And then given yung height saka yung volume. So you could start by the formula of the volume. What is the formula of the volume for pyramid? Same as the cone. Magkategorya sila ng cone.
Ano po, P is equal to pi h over 3. Tapos po yung may malaking R, tapos yung R square, tapos R po. Ano po ba yan?
Oh, teka, pyramid siya. It's a pyramid.
Pyramid. Triangular
Halos pareho
pyramid
siya ng
pala.
cone, yung principle. In principle, pareho siya ng cone. Kasi yung cone, meron din siyang 1/3. Ang pyramid, may 1/3 din. It's actually 1/3 times, ang nagkaiba sa cone sa pyramid, yung area of the base, which is this time a triangle base. Tama?
Yung
1/3,
B height po, base height po.
correct. Okay. So yun yun. Yun yung susolvin mo. So volume given, height given. Then we solve for the sides of the triangle base.
Upper base is
Kasi magkakaroon ka dyan ng parang you make use of the sine law of the angle. Sine law. I don't know kung in terms of the area, sine law, given one angle and the sides. Parang, hanap akong, ganito na lang. Ito, yung triangle, wala kita. ito yung dalawang side ng triangle. Can you see?
Apo.
Tapos yung nakabuka, yan yung 60 degrees kasi equilateral. May definition tayo dyan how to solve for the area of a triangle given the sides, the two sides, and the inscribed or the included angle based on sine law. I don't know kung naalala mo yun. Actually, parang tinuro sa trigo yun.
Oo nga po eh.
Kunyari, side A, side B, tapos yung theta, angle theta or angle C yun eh. So, kahit tatlo lang yung given, masosolve mo yung area without computing or knowing the other parts of the triangle. Just these three, two sides and the included angle. So, we could apply the sine law. Okay, you could search if you want. You could search for that formula. What's the formula? One half.
Formula po ng sine ba?
One half times the area of the base given two sides and the included angle. That's one half times
Ano
AB,
po?
or kasi ito naman equilateral, so x siya. One half times x times sine theta. So that would be simplified to one half x squared sine theta. Originally, it came from the formula area of the triangle is equal to one half AB sine C. I don't know if you recall that
Sense.
trigo formula. One half AB sine C is the area of a triangle given two sides and the included angle C. For this case, since A is equal to B, which is equal to X, and then you have theta. So one half X squared sine theta. Okay? Na gets ba? Yan yung area.
Opo.
Okay, now we could solve. We could solve for X kasi yan naman yung gusto nating malaman eh. We know the volume. We're now on 317. So sabi natin, this is 1/3 times base times height. And we know that base is an equilateral triangle where we could apply the triangular or the sine law. The sine law for the area of the base, which is equal to one half. Uy, gumano na. Ayoko nung ganun. One half times x times sine theta.
Kasi po
Sine,
ang equilateral naman po ay 60.
correct, 60 or 60 degrees, yes.
60 degrees.
So, therefore, this one is one half or 0.5 x squared. What's 60 degrees? Sine 60. What is sine 60?
Ano po, nakakuha ko po ay 3,507.40. Parang,
Ano, what's that? What value is that? Hindi, ano muna, sine 60 muna. Hazel, what's sine
sine
60?
60 po.
Oh. Dalawa lang naman yan eh. Either one half or square root of 3/2. Dalawa lang yan. O yan, part ng data bank yan ha, yung mga sine and cosine of special angles. Hazel, dapat memorya mo yan. Whether tulog ka o kakagising mo pa lang. Hindi, seryoso malaking tulong yan sa ano mo, sa board mo. Pag alam mo yung mga kunyari, nagising ka, naisip mo what is sine 30 degrees. Oh, one half.
Kasi ang sine 30 degrees po 1 half.
Therefore, sine 60, square root of 3/2. Ganun lang yung automatic yun. Yan, automatic siya.
1/4 po.
Magiging 1/4 siya. Sige, solvein mo nga muna yung ah, yeah, you could solve diretso na. So, pwede natin siyang isalpak doon given the height which is equal to 9. So,
Hmm.
pwede na natin salpak yung area of the base na yan. So, ito ngayon ay square root of 3/4. times x squared, no? Times, ano ba yung height na nasabi natin? Times 9, no? Tama? Yan yung height, no?
Ay,
Oh, and then yung ating volume, ano ko na rin yung volume, given volume at 186.87 point. Can you dictate the volume?
uh,
Given volume?
wait lang po. Hindi po ba 130, number 171 po ba? 17.
70. We're solving 70.
Ay, mali po pala. Tinitingnan ko.
Di ba 370 pa lang tayo?
Mali po pala
Ayun oh,
tinitingnan ko.
tamo. Ayan yung,
187 po.
ito oh, Hazel oh. Tingnan mo, ayan, ayan oh. Ayan ang katibayan, 370 yung solve natin.
Tinitingnan ko po, 371.
Oh, sige, sige, sige. What's the volume?
Ano po? 187 po.
Point,
Kaya po pala
point,
mali.
ano ba? May point yan eh. 06 ba yun?
0.06 po. Opo.
Ayan, ayan, sige. Oh, kaya mo nang ma-solve yung x dito. Kindly solve for x. Ayun yung x eh, nandun sa kaliwa, ay nasa kanan. So, manipulate mo na lang
Kaya
siya.
pala mali. Ah, okay po, wait.
Sige. Manipulate mo na lang siya. Yung x, yun na yung sagot. That's the answer.
Ano nga po, 1/3 square root
1/3
of
of square root of 3 over 4 times x squared times 9. Actually, pwede na mag-cancel yung 1/3 sa 9. Tama, magiging 3 na lang sa taas.
Opo, magiging 3 na lang po.
So, magiging 3 square root of 3 over 4 x squared. Ayun, bahala ka na. Manipulate mo. Kaya mo na yan. Kaya mo na yung manipulate yan. Bira, advance yung relo namin. Hindi pa naman alas 5 eh. Naririnig ba dyan yung alarm? Can you hear the alarm?
Hindi po.
Hindi. Okay din tong mic na to. To some extent, medyo, kasi pinipilter niya yung direction eh. Minsan nga napapagano konti lang, no? Pag dito, ayan, di ba? Medyo matinis. Dito, sound check na lang.
Opo, hindi po kinig.
Oh, unidirectional siya eh. Yun talaga, itong mga pang streaming mic talaga to. Kasi para yung, pag may nag-ingay sa gilid, katulad ni Luna,
Hindi po.
tatahol na lang yan. Tapos yung mga kapitbahay na nagkukwentuhan sa tungkol sa halaman, at least hindi rinig doon. Kasi nga, puro mga plantita yung mga kapitbahay namin. Mga plantita at plantito. Yeah, they are really,
Ano po,
sige.
12 po, 12 meters.
Correct. Ayan, sakto. 12 meters yan. Sige, I think dyan muna tayo. Okay lang ba? You just work
Opo,
on 371 to 380. Tingnan ko muna
yes
yung
po.
file. Tama, no? Hanggang 380. 371. Tama ba? Mayroon pang 380? Kasi I cannot see my file. Okay. So, yan yung, mo, you work it out. Then, yun sana, Hazel, paano mo yung stock knowledge? Kailangan yung stock knowledge din eh. Yung mga stock knowledge, ito yung mga bagay na kahit tulog ka, o kaya kahit nananaginip ka ng kung kani-kanino, kung sino-sino, pag halimbawa, tinanong sa'yo ng panaginip mo, "Oy, anong Pythagorean theorem?" Hindi, totoo 'to, hindi ako nagbibiro. Masasagot mo sa isip mo. Either you're
Opo.
unconscious or conscious, whether you're dreaming. Kasi sa dream minsan may makulit sa panaginip, eh. Tinatanong ako kung ano, calculus halimbawa, nasasagot ko naman.
Papanaginipan.
Oo, sa panaginip 'no. Eh. Dali,
Ano po sir, hanggang 383 po.
Ano mo na,
Yung ano na lang po, lahatin ko na po.
okey na 'yan. Sige, i-ano mo na lahat, maximize mo na siya.
Sige po,
Para the following, week, ano na tayo, kern and blend na tayo. Mas madaming problems do'n.
sige po.
So gano'n, sige sagad na natin hanggang last na item. Okay? So other thoughts you have, okey, 'yun ang suggestion ko ano, you build up your own sets of, stock memory. This information could be useful
Yes
when
po.
needed. For instance, yung 'yan, yung mga trigonometric functions, napaka importante niyan, eh. Hindi mo alam kung kailan susulpot yung gano'ng na tanong, eh. Normally naman yung between sine and cosine, mahalaga sa trigo yung relation ng sine and cosine. Tangent would follow, the other cotangent would follow, secant and cosecant would follow. Because all of them could be derived through cosine and sine. Naniniwala ka ba dun? Oh, tatawanan mo ko, ah. Hindi, totoo. Oh, tamo tangent, what is tangent? Tangent x is sine x cosine x all over cosine x.
O
Tama?
opo,
Cotangent, baliktad, cosine x over, sine
send.
x. Secant x is 1/cosine.
Opo,
Oh, and then gano'n din yung cosecant is 1/sine. And then ano pa, Pythagorean identity, it's very important. Sine squared x plus cosine
yung
squared x
tangent.
is equal to 1. You could derive that the two other Pythagorean identity based on that relation. Oh, ano yung dalawa
Opo,
pang Pythagorean identity? Oh, kung di-divide mo both sides by sine squared x, anong matitira? 1 plus cotangent squared x is equal to 1 o cosecant squared x. Yan yung una. And then kung dinivide mo naman sa cosine squared, anong matitira? Tangent squared x plus 1 is equal to secant squared
one
x. Ayun, yun yung
second
tatlong
squared x.
Pythagorean identity. Pero dinerive mo siya based on the original formula sine squared x plus cosine squared x equal to 1. Ano pa, yung mga simple identities ng, combination ng sine and cosine. Mahalaga yan. Yan yung mga formulas relating to area, yung katulad na encounter natin, yung 1/2 AB sin C, yung area. Ta's yung mga sine relationship, sin A over A is equal to sin B over et cetera. Then yung cosecant, yung cosine law pala, cosine law. C is equal to A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine C.
Yes.
Oh, 'di ba? Yung mga gano'n. Minsan
Yes, yes.
kinakapa ko rin 'yan, eh, pero 'yan yung mga basic, saka sa calculus naman mga basic lang, derivative. And then yung
Oo
mga
nga po.
mga area volume saka area, yung pala, yung kanina. 'Pag alam mo yung volume, dapat alam mo rin yung surface area, mag-partner siya, eh. Kunyari volume sphere, 4/3 pi r cube. Surface area, 4 pi r squared. Ngayon ganito, 'pag nakalimutan mo, at least alam mo yung volume, get the derivative of the volume, 4/3 pi r cube. It will result to 4 pi r squared. You get the derivative. 'Di ba
Opo,
tama? Gano'n din yung bilog, yung area ng bilog, what's the area of the circle? Pi r
um,
squared, 'di ba? Oh,
by
halimbawa
R
lang
squared po,
nakalimutan mo yung circumference, get the derivative of the area of the circle, 2 pi r.
2 pi R.
Okay? 'Pag ginawa mo yung derivative. So, basta it's just a combination of area and, perimeter or circumference for, plane, but for solid sa combination of surface area or lateral area, whichever is appropriate, 'no, and the volume corresponding. At least may stock knowledge ka na diyan. Kasi ang board
Opo,
exam kasi combination 'yan, eh. Hindi lang yung direct substitution, you won't expect, much of direct substitution question. You must have some derivation first. No, katulad ng mga nakita mo mga sample problems, no, kailangan mo mag-derive lalo na yung mga ratio and proportion, no, yung mga varies directly. Kanina, 'di ba, we have 3 items like that. So 'yan, yung mga abangan mo. Okay? So 'yan, those are my thoughts for today. Ano rin, medyo kahit yung mga algebra, yung skills mo sa factoring, gano'n, importante
Opo.
'no. Minsan kasi kailangan mo rin puwersahin yung sarili mong kabisaduhin at a certain period of time, and then 'pag 'yan umokey na sa isipan mo, it will ano, hanggang habang buhay ng maalala mo 'yan. 'Yun lang, it takes discipline to do that. May mga
Mas madali
factoring,
pa po palang calculus.
correct, oo. Calculus kasi, you could ano, may mga derivations. Pero ito wala halos, eh,
Oo nga po.
algebra. Calculus meron kang, derivations. Okay, so other thoughts? So, okay na tayo 'no, from 371 to the last
Yes
which
po.
is 383, okay?
Yes po.
Okay, so 'yun yung ating, ah, pag-uusapan, and then we will continue on, kern and LAN na tayo. Okay, it's good thing you downloaded. Actually, medyo matagal na yung reference na 'yan kaya yung ibang mga uploaders 'no, meron silang sarili niyan, in-upload na nila. Kasi hindi na siya na-revise ever since, eh.
Ah,
There's no revision. In fact, kung may mga kamag-anak kang mga engineers, sigurado naituro 'yan ng professor nila, sigurado ko 'yun, or kahit mga math majors. Pero more on engineers kasi ang kern and LAN dinesigned for mensuration, sukat. So, for
observation.
engineering talaga. Okay, so sige, let's close in a word of prayer. We thank the Lord for this time. I hope that you have gained something, not only the methods, but also something that is beyond the classroom, which is of course your preparation for that. There's a necessary discipline that we need to acquire, as well as our teaching profession in general. So you must be flexible. As a student, you must be
Yes
flexible
po.
in varying teaching methodologies so that when your time comes to become a teacher, 'di ba, you will be also flexible. Kasi naging estudyante ka, naging flexible ka, mas madaling maging flexible na guro ang isang
Opo.
flexible na estudyante. Okay? Kasi there is a correlation between learning and teaching. There's always a correlation. Yun nga ang sabi nila, garbage in, garbage out, tawag. Okay? Yan. Of course, that could happen in teaching and learning environment. So it's not necessary that the teacher is the facilitator of learning, but he could be the learner himself, just like me. So from time to time, I could learn from all of you, on my class,
Mm.
something like that. So important din yung feedback mechanism. Okay, sige. Do you have some prayer petitions, requests?
Wala naman po.
Wala so far. Okay? So, sige. Kumusta nga pala yung hinahanap yung 'di ba you're looking for a larger space in your church?
Opo, eh, kaso wala po yung malapit lang po dito sa ano, sa Malolos po, dito po sa lugar po namin.
Malolos. Kasi Malolos is it
Opo.
the capital or Bulacan, Bulacan?
Ano po, capital po ang Malolos?
Malolos. Okay.
Opo.
So, yan talaga yung sentro. Okay, siguro yan,
Opo.
makapag-provide din ng Panginoon yan sooner or later. Okay? Sige, let's close in a word of prayer. Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the time that we could learn some concepts as well as application, the theories in plain and solid geometry as we see it in some of the board-related problems pertaining to solids, for this class that we have. We thank you because you have given to us wisdom, you have given to us the knowledge set that we need so that this concept, mathematical concept, could be applied in terms of finding solution to particular problem, as well as reflecting to our everyday life the importance of geometry in general. And of course, as math majors, we may see uh, deeper, deeper, not just on the normal everyday living, but as well as way we think, analytical thinking, also as we develop, conceptualize, as we develop also this skill in retrieving information on our data bank that we have already processed several years ago, but perhaps we need those concepts to retrieve from our data bank. There's a necessity, O Lord, discipline, so that we may, by your grace, continue for for our passion for excellence in terms of Hazel, for her study, become an educator, math major that will also shape the lives of the young people that will be under her care. We thank you, Lord, for the church there in Bulacan. Pray for their wisdom to the pastor to grow the church, their gospel, so that many people will trust the Lord at the end of the day, that they will grow their spiritual through this church, but the life and salt of, of the world in that locality. We thank you, Lord, for this day. Bless Hazel as we have other classes, perhaps later or tomorrow, and some other that you may continually guide her, even her ministry will also bless and prosper the things that you have entrusted. We thank you, Lord, for this day. This is our prayer in Christ. Okay. Thank you,
Thank
Hazel,
you po.
for this time. So see you next week. Okay? So just
Yes
take
po,
note of
thank
the
you po.
items, no? 371 to 383.
383 po.
Okay. Tapos Kern and Blan na tayo next time. Okay?
Sige po.
Sige. Okay.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
po.
God bless.
Bye-bye po. God bless din po.
Okay.